Welcome back to Garden Ninja. Now we're heading into autumn and that can only mean one thing for me, and that's that my damson trees are ready to be picked. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to show you my top 3 things to do with fresh damsons. So come on, let's get cracking. First guide is to make Damson Gin, and it couldn't be easier. It's such a super speedy recipe, and if you're in the UK and damsons are usually ready around September time, that means that you'll have Damson Gin in time for Christmas. So you're going to need 500 grams of freshly picked damsons. You're going to need a 750 millilitre bottle of dry London gin. You're going to need 250 grams of golden or regular caster sugar. Pretty much whatever caster sugar is in your cupboards is fine. And then lastly, you're going to need an airtight container to put both the damsons, the sugar and the gin in. And you're going to leave it in that for 2 to 3 months whilst it seeps and infuses. And then you can strain it off back into the gin bottle, recycling, and then you've got a bottle of Damson Gin. So the first thing you're going to do is take your 500 grams of damsons, stick them in a bag or a Tupperware, put them in the freezer overnight and freeze them. And what this will do is when you take them back out and they start to thaw, they will split, meaning that the gin and the sugar can infuse with the damsons. If you don't do that, you can prick them, but you're going to have to prick each individual damson and it takes a while. So my speedy method is to freeze them, throw them in your jar, pour the sugar in, pour the gin in, give it a really good shake, and then stick it in a cupboard out of direct sunlight and forget about it for 3 months. And then you'll have Damson Gin. The second super speedy recipe is Damson Jam. Now because damsons are part of the plum family, they're really high in pectin, and pectin helps jam set. And the reason why that's really good news for you is that you can just use regular caster sugar. So you don't need to faff about buying jam sugars or adding pectin. All you need is a kilogram of fresh damsons and the same kilogram in caster sugar. Now don't be put off making jam that you need loads of equipment. You literally need some clean jam jars which you can wash with some hot soapy water and then sterilise in the oven. And once you've taken those out, you want your biggest pan possible. Put all your damsons in, your sugar in at the same time, and then bring it to the boil. You're going to be boiling it for maybe 10 to 12 minutes, at which point it should have reached its setting point. Now you can use a thermometer to check if it's at the jam setting point, or you can put a saucer in the fridge, chill it down, and when you think your jam's at the setting point, get a small teaspoon, put it on the cold saucer, and then see if it forms a skin. If it forms a skin, the jam is done. If not, give it another minute or 2 and try it again. Now the last recipe is a Damson Crumble, and this can literally take 10 minutes to make. So if you find yourself with some unexpected house guests wanting dinner, the Damson Crumble is probably the one for you. So what you're going to need is 800 grams of freshly picked and clean damsons. Now I'm lazy, so I don't take the stones out, but again you've got to tell your guests that you're going to have to pick them out when they're eating your crumble. What you're also going to need is a tablespoon of brown sugar mixed into your damsons and 2 peeled and cored apples. So place the damsons and the cut apple into an oven-ready dish, and it's kind of common sense. You're going to know roughly how big the dish needs to be to put the fruit in and then the crumble topping. So things like a lasagna dish or a Pyrex are fine. For your crumble, you're going to want 250 grams of plain flour. You're also going to need 160 grams of brown sugar. Now whether it's light brown, demerara, I'm not too fussed. Whatever brown sugar's in your cupboard, get yourself 160 grams. You're also going to need 150 grams of butter. Take all these 3 ingredients, stick them in a food processor and just blitz them until it turns into crumb. Take the crumble and pour it out over the top of your damsons and apples. Stick it in an oven and leave it for half an hour on about 180 degrees. Lift it out, serve it with cream and ice cream, and you've got yourself a perfect Damson Crumble. If you want to take it to the next level, you can add a spoonful or 2 of your Damson Gin into that, or cinnamon and nutmeg to give it a bit of a spicy kick. So there we have it, my super speedy 3 damson recipes, and you can make all of these with things that you can find around your kitchen. You don't need special equipment and they're super easy. If you've liked this video, why not subscribe to my YouTube channel for plenty more garden design, hints, tips, hacks and the occasional recipe. I've been Garden Ninja, I'm off for a Damson Gin, happy gardening.